This is football. I know social media fans think no defender makes a mistake, an attacker scores every game. Dead. And for all you XG merchants, you can have your XG. You can have that. You can have that. Ours is higher than Newcastle's. They won 4-0, bro, across the two legs. Ours is 4.79. Theirs is 3.38. 3-4, sorry. What does that mean? What does that mean when you've had 34 shots and created 8 big chances and not scored? What does that mean? And respectfully to Kai, I'm not even getting at you, bro. You're relying on a man that's never been known for goals to score goals. It's not making sense. We've gone past this. Obviously, you always need to be innovative and things like that. But we've gone past the point as a football club we've gone past the point of a football club to be trying to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes just do what is required, which is signing a forward. And you've got the celebration police onto us naturally, people. As you lot know, Gabriel Martinelli is set for a scan on a suspected hamstring injury. You saw him obviously come off. He's set for further tests. He will be travelling to Dubai, people like Saka and Ben White, and actually young Max Dolman. What is this? The truth about Arsenal's transfer window, the 4 forwards they targeted. But I don't really care about this, but let's see regardless, man. Can we skip through the tosh? Predictable. We know Martinelli's got a hamstring knock. We know Gabriel Jesus is out for time. In an ideal world, Arsenal wanted Jesus to play out the season. Their logic to that viewpoint, following a difficult start, Jesus has scored 6 goals in 7 matches before his season ended prematurely against Man United on January the 12th. I mean, we're still doing this. These are purple patch players, bro. He was hitting form before disaster struck, but it was only when his ACL injury was confirmed did Arsenal narrow their January business to the recruitment of a striker. At this point, you don't know my thoughts. I know yours. Yeah. It's not making sense, is it? It really isn't. Potential moves for Bayern Munich's Matthias Tell and Alvaro Morata were discussed internally, although the club fell short of making offers amid a feeling that neither would provide the level of impact Mikel Arteta's team required. It must be, but I must be watching Prime Barcelona's forwards. I must be. We must have the best depth in the world, and everyone's a top-class, world-class quality player. I'm not saying necessarily them two, but there's always this snootiness. Really? Fair enough. Fair enough. If this is the language, if this is either incompetence, naivety, overrating ourselves, or everything, or just damn right stupidity. And even that's 2 players. That's 2 players. Fair enough. So you lot are gonna have to live or die by what you've got or not got in the squad, then, isn't it? Really. Arsenal found that the very best players simply weren't available in January, where prices are traditionally inflated and clubs weren't open to letting their key assets leave. Do you know what I find funny, yeah? Pardon me. You know what I find funny? That's not wrong in isolation. But when these journalists come out and speak in relation to Arsenal, they always make out like Arsenal the only people that know that that's something. Those prohibited conditions aren't exclusive to Arsenal. Fair enough, Sammy Mokbel. Arcs United, Arcs Chelsea. Arsenal could have signed someone for the sake of it to add depth rather than quality, but where is the long-term strategy in that? So where's the long-term strategy in us getting Neto and Sterling? It's the same logic, ironically, that I guess in hindsight, they used to make sure something's better than nothing that could have been applied in Jan. It's not making sense. This is why I have to big up you lot, because we're thinkers. We don't always agree, but we're thinkers. We're not going to do the positive, negative stuff. We're not going to do the effing and shouting thing. We're going to scream and F and shout, and we're going to do certain positives, but we're going to look at the whole chessboard. What is going on? This is nonsense. Big up Lewis Skelly and Ethan. They've saved us, and if they weren't here, God, boy, don't know, mate. Don't know. They're no, you know what? Big up Ethan and Lewis Skelly. As you can see, I'm tired of these articles. I'm trying to just get to the bones of it. Talent identification is a concept Arsenal's recruitment team pride themselves on. They've had more hits than misses in recent seasons. If certain players weren't deemed at a high enough level to improve a forward line that scored 91 goals last season, then perhaps frustrated Gooner should have a little more faith. Every metric you can find that makes us look amazing in the final third, you can equally find negative ones. My point being, we're probably not as bad as we're making out. We're definitely not as good as this is making out. You clearly need a striker. The hell is going on? Anyways, people. And all of this goes out the window where you see certain things that went on. We know we tried to bid for Ollie Watkins. The external view of that particular bid that was rejected by Villa was that it smacked of panic heading into the final days of the window. Of course you panicked. You fucking panicked in the summer. However, it's our understanding that Arsenal were offered encouragement during the closing stages of the window that Villa were open to selling Watkins or Duran. Okay. So there weren't no raw, let's try and be cheeky around Watkins. We were offered him. So in theory, despite all of this, you were prepared to sign no one or not even really attempt. You lot have to hold this. I don't care if it's Arteta, if it's sporting directors, if it's them. My sympathy is extended to the players because even Declan Rice came out and said we had to play Tierney left wing. I'm sure the gaffer will do something. My sympathy goes to the fans because we deserve a bit more than this. Everyone else, you lot have to hold that. It is what it is. The fact, though, Villa had already lined up a huge offer for Duran from Saudi Arabia, coupled with the realization that the gap in valuations for Watkins was too wide, meant a deal never really got off the ground. Watkins was largely a market opportunity that arose unexpectedly late in the window. It was an opportunity Arsenal chose to move on, but even the size of their offer was shaped by analytics. Watkins' age, attacking stats, defensive output, among other numerical pointers, are all factored in by Arsenal when submitting offers. You reckon? That's nothing exclusive to us. Arsenal are disciplined in that regard. Some supporters will wish they were more impulsive. The Glazing's mad. I hear it. You're clearly cool with the club. You don't want to lose your relations and that. So you're gassing it a bit. Big up Jason Ito. I really don't want to hear nothing with that. Apparently, with supporters' desires for a signing, Ito could have easily have made himself an instant hero by sanctioning moves for either Tel or Morata, who would have both given serious consideration to joining Arsenal. Who knows? Perhaps Ito has maneuvered himself out of contention for the full-time role amid the hysteria created by the club's failure to land a forward. But talk to those whose opinions matter at the Emirates. That's a bit snooty. I mean, yeah, I know what you mean, but all our opinions matter. And they'll tell you Ito considered approach has impressed and is one that is aligned with the club's long-term strategy. I don't want to hear about this, brother. I don't want to hear about anything to do with why Raheem Sterling was signed on loan. I'm sorry. I can't do it, people. I know I've got to remain professional. I can't. The Zubimendi thing. Zubimendi, who has a 52 million release clause, looks certain to arrive from Sociedad. There's rumours of a hijack from Real Madrid. As Arsenal prepare for the expected midfield departures of Jorginho and Partey, who are both out of contract in the summer. They will explore a move for a versatile attacker too, with athletic Bilbao winger Nico Williams and Wolves attacker Cunha among the names admired. But the big money will be spent on a new centre forward. It is no secret dream ticket is that given the cost believed to be in excess of 120 million, a successful swoop for the Sweden striker appears implausible. I mean, same names, Hijack, Williams, Cunha now, Zubimendi. Anyone want to bet when we scroll down? And God as my witness, I have not seen this article. We all know it's going to mention Sesko in it. I'll hold my hands up if I'm wrong. But at the very least, Arsenal will explore its validity. Sesko appears to be Arsenal's best chance of landing the centre forward supporters so keenly crave. It's understood the forward has a new contract release clause in his contract that becomes active this summer. His previous buyout price was around 55 million. Assuming it's just Arsenal is the one he wants. Of course, some fans will say they've heard it all before. You understand their reservations, but there's a burgeoning sense at the Emirates that they are gearing up for an unprecedented summer. Only then will we discover the true upshot of Arsenal's January inactivity. I mean, if, the season, we can be critical about this season and how this plays out. If you do what we're crying for you to do, then fair enough in the summer. But we've heard it all before. Maybe not like that, but we heard this all last summer. When we went out against Bayern Munich, athletic, we needed players with X factor. War chest and all of that. We've been here. We're at this point, lip service don't help. It's show and prove now. Cunha's release clause has been revealed. Apparently, he'll be available for 62 million. I think Cunha's a good player. In a day and age where Sesko might cost 55, 65, 75 mil, you're not getting Hijack but 120 as a minimum. Zubimendi's costing about 50 odd. We're going to have to sign some goalies and that. We're not finding 62 million to get Cunha. Good player. Clearly a good player, can play in the 10, on the left, up front, but what does he really solve beyond being a good player? And that's not my necessary thoughts. This is how I think the club are. We know he was subject to speculation by a lot of clubs. Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur, Aston Villa, Forest are among all of those monitoring him. It seems like that's where that's concerned. And again, January's come back to bite us on the arse. Assuming Martinelli's injury is out for a few weeks, Kai Havertz, Trossard, Sterling, and Ethan. And Ethan's the best out of all of them. And then you're looking at Kai in terms of who's been doing the output. Tells you our problems. We're still linked with what's this goalie's name? Trundle or whatever his name is of Wigan. It still says us, Preston, Sunderland, Birmingham, United are all looking at him as well as Everton as well, people. So yeah, it's an absolute madness. Big up my guy Tom. Apparently he's confirmed that Saka will travel to Dubai, and we hear the same around a few players actually. Gordon said to stay humble. I don't think he had a dig at Arsenal. I think he literally is talking about staying humble. What a big game player he is, people. Odegaard has said we'll have to learn the lessons. We had a few good moments in the first half where I could have scored and maybe the game would have been a bit different. Then we let them run a bit too easily a few times. They had a few big moments there. And with the goal, obviously, we're all disappointed and we should have done better. We may be a young squad, but we've all played big games and we've played here many times. So I still think it should have been possible to do better. But now we have to take the lessons and move on the trip to Dubai, people. I think it'll be good. It's been a busy schedule. A lot of games are very intense. So it would definitely be good to go away and get the energy high again, come back stronger and push for big things until the end of the season. Last year, I think we came back so strongly afterwards. I think it's good in the middle of the season with so much going on. So we have to go there and make sure we get a good amount of rest and work hard as well. I hear it, Captain, but lie, bro. I don't want to hear it anymore, man. I'm kind of tired of hearing these things. R.I.P. Christian Atsu again, each and every time, people. Arteta disappointed to miss out on the final. I was very disappointed that we didn't make Wembley and in the manner as well. We had a lot of hope and believe we could generate momentum in the game to be in the tie. In the first half, we had two moments where if we would have scored a goal, probably things would have been different. How many times have we heard that though? But the ball comes the other way and they scored a goal and then it gets much harder. We needed a goal in that moment. We didn't get another chance. We never got that goal to give us some belief and generate certain expectations and momentum in the team. And then slowly the game started to get away from us. And when we conceded the second goal, it was really tough. They've been much better than us in our boxes. They've been much more efficient in the game at home as well. I think we generated 24 shots. Yeah, you can generate, bro. But man, need to have someone to put the ball in the back of the net. It feels like, man, like, is this anything new? I actually think I have to say sorry to you lot because my content must be boring. I'm saying the same things week in, week out. And a lot of chances, but we didn't manage to score a goal in the two legs. So that tells you the story. Yes, it does. We are really hurting at the moment. We really wanted to take the club to Wembley again, and we put so much into it, and unfortunately we could not deliver that. I think we first need to digest this one because it's a painful one, and tomorrow we'll start to recharge. Nope, I don't want to hear no one feeling sorry for themselves. Get on with it. What has the gaffer said? We've gone over that. Pardon me, Newcastle, obviously a tough opponent. We've definitely gone over the efficiency in the boxes. Martinelli felt something. I think it was his hamstring, and he wasn't comfortable to continue, so we have to have an MRI. Boy, on if tonight's performance was down to the packed schedule. I wouldn't like to say that, especially when we lose the game. Physically, we were tired, and we played so many games. Goes back to the summer. 19 players trying to compete in 4 trophies. Let's not act like this is anything new. But anyways, we played so many games every 3 days. This is the dynamics of what we want to do. We want to be a team that competes in everything. We knew that this was going to be a really high intensity one. I think emotionally as well. It was a really different game that we needed to get there to believe right into the end that we could do it. And before that game got away from us. And yeah, obviously, if you get into a semi-finals and don't go through his peak, big up my guy Riley in the cut as well. Saliba needs to cut his hair. Every time he lets his hair grow, he performs bad. Strong feeling that on top of Ethan and MLS, there might be another kid to come on the scene. Arteta said we need to swallow this one. Pause. It's a tough one, and we had a lot of expectations. We knew the difficulty of the task because of the schedule that we brought from London, but there's nothing we can do now. What we could do was on the pitch a few minutes ago. Now we have to look forward. First of all, I think this was going to be a painful one, and when we're in the bye, recharge, go again because we still have a lot to play for. And the errors are part of football. We've been super consistent. The one time our defenders have let us down recently, been really consistent. And today we gave them hope just by putting the ball to the last line. When we did that, we always look vulnerable because we allowed them to run from the situation. And they're a really dangerous team when they're able to do that. But certainly they don't want to do that. So what can I say? On if you were surprised that Newcastle played a back five, no. And again, yesterday was a great example of a back five doesn't have to be defensive, bro. Like, you can't accuse Newcastle of being defensive. Yeah, they were solid defensively. I just call it competent coaching. But anywho, man. And, Newcastle's Twitter account were trolling Mikel Arteta over the ball. Peak. The game's the game. Eddie Howe revealed that they targeted Gabriel and Saliba. And obviously, we're a compact side. Hijack dragged them across. We've been linked with Lautaro Martinez, people. Arsenal allegedly are ready to break the bank for Lautaro Martinez, with Inter Milan star targeted as the striker of choice for Mikel Arteta. We didn't get Ollie Watkins. We know the injuries. We know the strikers we're linked with. Arsenal are willing to break their transfer record to secure Lautaro Martinez. According to a report in Spain about an Argentine player playing in Italy, moving to an English club. Football's universal, and anything can break news anywhere, but it's not local media. It's not making sense, man. Apparently, they've reported a bombshell that Arsenal are looking to spend 120 million on Martinez. Inter's board know that it'd be difficult to reject a proposal. Didn't he just sign a new deal? Fair enough, though. Arsenal will look to sign Spanish goalkeeper Garcia from Espanyol in the summer. We've heard that before. 16-year-old Jack Porter and the exciting Max Dolman of 15 people is traveling to they are traveling to Dubai, people. Apparently, Arsenal seek special permission. They'll continue their schoolwork as well while they're out there. Big up Jack Porter as well. He has made his debut. You'd imagine when Dolman turns 16, 15, 16, he'll make his debut in the Premier League or in Arsenal in some capacity. And it's a good experience for these young players, man. We're still linked with Hijack. I've got little to no care in the world to discuss Hijack to Arsenal. I'd love the guy, quality player, but come on now. If you scroll all the way down in this article, Newcastle in a strong position contractually. Hijack's current deal runs until 2028, and the club have plans to offer him an extension. If Newcastle qualify for the Champions League, easing their PSR issues, Hijack will surely prove unattainable for anything but the most silly fee. There's no way I could say that word. Even if Newcastle are forced to make a significant sell, Hijack is one asset they would protect above all others. He's their crown jewel. The 25-year-old has gone to another level, one that means Arsenal would have to break the bank, people. He could have been theirs. In 2022, Arsenal also spent January looking for a new centre forward. Hijack was under strong consideration, along with Vlahovic and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Significant work was undertaken on scoping out a deal for Hijack then 2022. The Sweden international had a release clause at 75 million, but Arsenal ultimately believed they could strike a deal a little bit beneath that. The Athletic also came out and said they didn't believe he was value for money. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Look how that worked out. And that's my point. You know, I'm sure Newcastle fans love Hijack. I'm sure when they saw they signed him for 80 million, there was ooming and ahhing. So it's like, if you're not going to go, obviously we're not going to sign Hijack, but if you were, you need to be coming to Newcastle with serious money. And that goes for all the other strikers. If you're not going to do that, then scout someone who can be that. What we can't do is we tried and we're looking for this special player and whatnot. Anyways, man, we know we decided against doing that either in January or the summer. Despite glowing scouting reports, Hijack has scored just 6 goals in 32 La Liga appearances for Real Sociedad that season. Fair enough, man. It's like we take risks for lesser players. I'm tired of hearing about our financial structure. Not necessarily that this article says anything. We're well aware of it. We keep hearing the same language. But that strategy may point towards Benjamin Sesko, a long-term target for Arsenal. The 21-year-old Slovenian fits that profile. Sesko chose to stay with RB Leipzig this month, but is expected to move this summer. Having followed him for some time, the moment is approaching when Arsenal must decide whether to gamble on his talent. Sesko obviously is not at Hijack's level yet, but there are those at Arsenal who believe he could get there. If that happens with another club, Arteta and Arsenal will surely reflect on it as another painful miss, people. So is what it is. Arsenal mailbag, summer transfer budget, Zubimendi plans. Are Williams or Watkins realistic? Bro, we know Nelson, Kivio, Fabio Vieira, Zini could all go. I'm tired of hearing the powder dry. Zubimendi is certainly a big part of the plans, and that's factored into the strategy this month. As for Sesko, he definitely remains of interest. We also know of Arteta's admiration for Hijack, and personally, I wouldn't rule out Ollie Watkins out of contention either. It may be that it becomes more affordable, instant impact deal for a manager who's in a hurry to win. The one I'm less sure about is Williams. There's no doubt Arsenal like him, but with a considerable transfer fee and wage package, I imagine it might require a significant departure to pull that deal off in addition. How much trouble are we in if we lose Kai to injury? Brother, it's peak. Everyone keeps saying we had to sign a striker, so who do you think was available that wouldn't have ruined our plans? This is just a think piece, bro. I don't want to hear this. We know we tried for Morata. Jason Ito, we've gone over that. We know this lad didn't sign for us ultimately for whatever reason. Big up the academy. They're like, just wasting everyone's time. I don't care about that. Big up the Athletic, but we're not here for you lot's personal think pieces. Allegedly, we're willing to break the bank for Lautaro Martinez. As said, people, again, you might be looking at what's going on with Gyökeres and Sesko. Apparently, regardless of Harry Kane's future, who's got a release clause, and Paul Merson says he thinks Arsenal will buy him. Bayern are already exploring the market for a future successor. Benjamin Sesko, 21, and Victor Gyökeres, 26, were among the names discussed internally. Both would cost around 70 million euros in transfer fee, but would earn significantly less than Kane. Smash the like button if you haven't. After Kane's release clause for the summer of 2025 expired, obviously they're looking for a successor. So we're not going to be alone, people. Completely off topic, but allegedly the Guardian has said discussions to scrap extra time from the Champions League knockout rounds are taking place within UEFA. This will help reduce the number of minutes played by top clubs, people. And apparently, Man United are still being linked with Gyökeres for the summer. Arsenal are preparing a 100 million summer bid. Again, it seems like they're bored. There's only so many times us Arsenal fans and creators are going to talk about Sesko, Hijack, Gyökeres. Full circle moment. We're getting linked with Watkins again. We're getting linked with Vlahovic again. We're getting linked with Lautaro Martinez again. Just got to throw Dominic Calvert-Lewin in. And it's 2022 all over again. Or Osimhen for no reason. Martinez has thrived at Inter, has won 2 Serie A titles and 5 domestic cups. He finished as the top goal scorer in 2022, 23-24, voted best player in Italy in 2024, and is obviously a World Cup winner, people. And Copa America. I mean, playing with Messi is great. And we're still monitoring Sesko and Hijack, people, and it will cost 120 mil. I would love Hijack. I'm sure a lot of people will. And this is what I mean. We can keep lying to ourselves. Arsenal are the second top goal scorers in the Prem this season with 49 goals. Because some people like to pretend that we're doing this thing. But where you look at Kai Havertz, he's done well. He's got 15 goals. He's pulling his weight a lot more than others, people. But the German is just joint 12th top goal scorer in the Prem with 9, level with Liam Delap. Goals make the difference whether you're trying to stay in the division, win the league, Champions League places, etc. We clearly need a difference maker or makers. People that are going to turn draws, defeats into draws, draws into victories, more points on the board, taking us to the next level. And you lot are not stupid. You know what I'm talking about. Arsenal suffer new setback after Newcastle defeat as Martin Zubimendi transfer hijack threat approaches or emerges. You can tell me we want to sign him as much as we want. Where you look at Nico Williams, Sesko, Zubimendi, everybody's fighting for these players, bro. And until I see a man hold a shirt or I see it's confirmed that he's signing for the summer, who cares? Apparently, Real Madrid are spinning the block. I mean, I'm pessimistic on signings until they actually sign for our club anyways. And Zubimendi, 1 minute you're going Arsenal, then United, then Bayern Munich, then Real Madrid, then City, then I want to stay at Sociedad. Apparently, we've heard we're set to trigger his 51 million release clause. It's claimed, people, pardon me, that Arsenal was set to pull off a major coup by beating the likes of Liverpool and Madrid to Zubimendi's signature. However, no deal has been officially announced, and it appears that a move to the Emirates is far from certain. Spanish journalist Mario Cortegana, who covers Real Madrid for The Athletic, has reported that Zubimendi remains in talks with the La Liga giants, and there are growing conversations over a possible move to the Bernabeu. And we've seen Real Madrid hijack several moves, Tchouaméni and Bellingham. There will always be, well, Zubimendi said there will always be rumors, and now that January is approaching, there will be 2. I don't waste energy on outside noise. I'm happy with the way I'm handling it. I'm going to handle it. So, yeah, but what is said in The Athletic? I don't see Zubimendi's name there. I do see Liam Delap, Nico Williams, Sesko. Okay, there's growing conversations behind the scenes for Zubimendi at Real Madrid. Everybody's interested in everyone, man. Don't really care what that is. What Arsenal are now plotting this summer could have serious implications for Wolves and Cunha. A1 clickbait. It's got nothing to do with us, people. Like, I don't think Cunha's a good player, but I don't think he's the one Arsenal are looking at. Once again, Real Madrid allegedly advancing in talks with Zubimendi. Our next 6 games, people. Leicester City away, Man United at home. Sorry, West Ham United at home, Nottingham Forest away, Man United away, Chelsea at home, Fulham at home. Oof. I mean, with the current form, I can't say it's easy. Cesc Fabregas got nothing to do with us beyond being a former player. Apparently, he's wanted by Stuttgart. I don't think he leaves Como anytime soon. I will at 5 p.m. people be here again with Jess. It'll be good because it'll be a chance for me to just shut up, ask questions, and hear her point of view. Damn, is this me? How much this video came out now? It's not supposed to, but yeah, my extended thoughts in relation to the game are there. Do make sure you're following on TikTok. You'll always said make a big song and dance about uploading more, so we're doing that. And support the trenches, people. If you're listening on Spotify, please make sure you're giving a follow. But yeah, man, let's keep it moving. What else have we got?